Bob Holt joins us, a distinguished alumnus of the University of Missouri. Bob, I guess I got to go hit Shakespeare Pizza at some point with the kids here. There wouldn't be a trip to Columbia without Shakespeare's, right?
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Shakespeare's. I would definitely get you some pizza, maybe every meal while you're there.
That's a sports writer talking to you, isn't it? Well, Bob's in San Francisco and has made the trip along with the rest of the media for the Sweet 16 and hopefully Elite 8 matchup. It's a pretty loose group, it seems, Bob. You know, I don't know. Do you ever remember, people say this team looks so loose, right? Do you remember a team that's been in a Sweet 16 for Arkansas that you've covered that hasn't been loose? I mean, you've won 2 games. You're at a point where you're one of the last 16 teams standing. Does loose really have anything to do with it? I don't really think it does, but they do seem like they're having fun and enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, they were, seeded 4, so based on seeds, they were projected to get here. But as we know, a lot of the top 4 seeds, a couple of number 1 seeds didn't advance. It's a tournament. That's why they call it March Madness. And I think anytime you get Sweet 16, you've had a great season. Obviously it'll be disappointing for Gonzaga. They're the number 1 overall seed, but this is their 7th straight Sweet 16. I think that's a heck of an accomplishment. And it's just such a crapshoot at this point. Really, anything can happen. I think Arkansas is a pretty big underdog, about a 9-point underdog, and most people obviously expect Gonzaga to win this game. I don't think that's disrespectful of Arkansas. It just shows all the respect you have for Gonzaga. I mean, they've won 80 of their last 85 games, and they play in the West Coast Conference, but the West Coast Conference had, I think it was 3 teams in the tournament this year. St. Mary's and San Francisco and Gonzaga, of course, and Gonzaga, has some really good wins this season. We know they lost to Alabama, a pretty schizophrenic team, but they beat UCLA, they beat Texas Tech, they lost to Duke, so they might get a rematch with Texas Tech if they get by Arkansas. Well, obviously, if they get by Arkansas, they're going to play either Tech or Duke, but I don't feel like Arkansas has no chance to win this game. I mean, Arkansas's won 17 of the last 20 against top competition. They played great defense, and it would obviously help if they shot well, but defense can win you a lot of games, and so I think Arkansas's got a realistic shot to win the game. You have to favor Gonzaga on paper, but it's not like Arkansas doesn't deserve to be here.
Gonzaga's got a little bit in the tournament this year of what the Hogs did last year, which is the slow start, kind of creep your way from behind and find a way to win it when you've been trailing at least the entire first half and then a good chunk of the second half. I mean, they needed a 21-0 run to pull away from Georgia State and trailed for just about the entire game against Memphis. And of course with Arkansas, we've seen them get out to big leads and then end up trailing, and vice versa too. I don't know. It just feels to me like there's an opportunity for the Hogs to potentially grab control of the game early. That doesn't necessarily mean that if they have control early against this team that means they've got this thing won.
Well, yeah, it's going to be an up and down game, and basketball's a game of runs anyway. Kind of reminds me of the night when Arkansas and Kentucky were both so good in the SEC, and one of them could get a 15-point lead or 20-point lead or something on the other, and the other one would come back. If Arkansas Gonzaga gets out to a big lead tonight early, I'd certainly expect the other team to come back. That's been Arkansas's MO if they've fallen behind, even in their losses. Lately they've come back. A&M was the exception. The SEC tournament, they had a big comeback, fell short at Alabama. Big comeback at Tennessee, it fell short. But I think it's going to be an up and down game. And Gonzaga averages almost 90 points a game. So they're not going to want to slow it down. Arkansas is going to want to push it. So I think it ought to be a really, really entertaining, probably one of the most entertaining games of the Sweet 16.
Well, Bob, it'll be entertaining if Arkansas can make shots, and they just haven't had things bounce their way. I mean, you go back to that New Mexico State game. A lot of those J.D. Note drive to the lanes, kind of kiss off the glasses that normally fall just weren't going his way. Do you think that J.D. could possibly be a little discouraged to continue to do that, or do you think he's going to just play his game and keep doing what he does and keep trying until it falls?
I think he's going to keep playing his game. I mean, shoot, whether it's jumpers or drives the basket. If someone drives the basket, you can tell he he'd come in and it wouldn't go down, and he'd turn around, or maybe he was on the ground, and you saw the look on his face like, wow, I can't believe I missed that, or how did I miss that? But he's had to struggle shoot at times. But the other day against New Mexico State, he gets in foul trouble, doesn't score in the first half, scores 17 in the second half. He's always done a pretty good job of getting to the line. If his jumper's not falling, he can still hit some big shots late, go to the hole. But yeah, I think Arkansas ought to have a shot to win. They need a big game from JD. So this is no time to get conservative offensively for him. I think he's got, and of course he needs to stay out of foul trouble. He's gotten in foul trouble here, different parts of the season, but especially here of late. And that affects him because, they got to take him out in the first half. If he gets those 2 fouls there, it's a pretty hard and fast rule with Eric Musselman. Might put him in, let's say he got 2 fouls, they might put him in late, like a last shot situation at the end of the half or something. And they obviously need Jalen Williams, J.D. and Note, their 2 best players, to really, they need everybody to play well, but especially they need big games from those 2 guys, especially going against Gonzaga's size.
Mm-hmm. And with Gonzaga's size, and you need to, we've talked about all week about how you're going to have to muck it up a bit. You're going to have to play that hard-nosed defense. And a guy that I'm shocked that we didn't get to see in either of the first 2 games, Kamani Johnson, he's going to play tonight, right? Like, I feel like his energy and the way that he plays is too valuable to not have on the floor tonight against a team like Gonzaga.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised Kamani didn't play in either of those games either. Obviously, Arkansas won and maybe felt like they wanted to go smaller. Chris Likes, played some really big minutes against New Mexico State, some key free throws late. But, because you feel like, most teams don't have one big as good as Timmy or Holmgren, and Gonzaga's got 2. And Holmgren's kind of an unorthodox big in that he shoots a lot of threes on the perimeter. Timmy's kind of more of a classic inside guy. And I assume Jalen would cover him. And then we'd see, I don't know if it'd be Trey Wade starting off on Holmgren, or maybe you put Stanley out there on him, if he's playing on the outside a lot. So, but he does get a lot of rebounds. He gets almost 10 rebounds a game. So, just having 2 big men like that, that's just really rare in college basketball these days. And I think that's what makes Gonzaga, especially tough.
Jason in Frankfurt here says he thinks if Arkansas holds Gonzaga to 70 points or fewer, then they'll win that game. That's a tall order. That also means the Hogs are going to have to score just enough. And it's the scoring, it's not the defense that I get a little nervous about. Like, this can't be a day where JD is off. And it's, you say that you get a player like Stanley Amude. For what reason? You get him because he can play great D, he can rebound, but he can score. And he can score in the tournament, and that's happened 1 out of 2 games. I feel like in order for Arkansas to get, and I think 76, 77 should be enough for a win, you need Amude to drop it from the outside today, don't you?
Yeah, because Arkansas hadn't been a good 3-point shooting team really all season, but he's been hot. And it's funny, he's actually shot probably, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I feel like he shot better away from home. And he's had some good games at home too, obviously. But yeah, to me, Stanley's really helped himself this year at Arkansas because he was a scorer in South Dakota, but obviously, competition is tougher in the SEC, and he's become a really good rebounder, really good defender. He had a couple block shots the other day, and I think one of the games he had 9 rebounds in Buffalo. And but yeah, they're going to need him to. I mean, they need everybody to play well. It's like Eric said, they got to bring their A game. Like Eric Musselman said, the coach, they need to bring their A game. And yeah, if they could hold Gonzaga on 70 or less, I like their chances too. I just don't know if it's realistic for Arkansas or anybody to hold Gonzaga to 70 points or less. That'd be about 20 points under their average. And so, I mean, I think Arkansas's got to really play well, and they got to make Gonzaga, they got to make it tougher to hit shots, maybe frustrate them a little bit, cut down on the transition points. They definitely can't give up a lot of transition points. This is a team that scores them in bunches. But if you get them on the ropes a little bit, it might be interesting to see how they react. Now Memphis did that too, and Gonzaga came back, and maybe that was their quote, bad game of the tournament. We'll see how that turns out. But you feel like all the pressure's on Gonzaga, so Arkansas should be able to go out there and just say, hey, we got a shot at number one. Let's just kind of like when Auburn came into Walton Arena. Obviously, this game isn't going to be played in Walton Arena, but San Francisco's a long way from Spokane, Washington. So I'll be curious to see what the crowd is like in terms of who they're pulling for.
Speaking of the crowd, have you seen a lot of Razorback fans around?
Yeah. Ray actually ran into some last night. Went out to a restaurant, and Eric Musselman's wife and mom and sister, and Moses Moody's mom was there, and Jalen Williams' mom, and her husband Jeff Williams, and I think it was Trey Wade's parents maybe. So we just kind of ran into them. Just their restaurant. Mm. So. Yeah, I think there are a lot of Arkansas fans in town. I mean, obviously San Francisco is a long, expensive trip, so it's not going to be like Reunion Arena in the 1980s or something. But I think Arkansas fans are excited about the program again, and I've seen a lot of things on social media. So they had I thought they had a good showing in Buffalo, good showing in Tampa. Those are long. I mean, it's not easy to go to Tampa or Buffalo or San Francisco, and definitely all three. I mean, it's been long trips for Arkansas, but I think the fans have shown up pretty well. I expect there to be a good Arkansas contingent there tonight.
That's really cool, considering how much it costs to make it from Arkansas all the way to San Francisco. We had people, Ty had to drive over to Dallas just to save a whole bunch of money. So, and I know there's an Arkansas diaspora, wherever you go. So they're looking to root for the Razorbacks wherever they play anyway.
It's that time of year as college basketball takes center stage with the tournament finally upon us. If you're looking to wager this year, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your updated odds and info, along with great contests, including the bracket contest, where you can have a chance to take home the top prize. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's BLEAV. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino games. BetOnline, where the game starts.